The talk that I want to start, apparently a couple minutes early, is taking up space and being able to be an active part in your community. How many of you have a community that you are a part of? What I mean by community is any sort of physical or digital space where you can interact with peers. So people who you share connections with, people who you share information, maybe exchange knowledge, friendship, things like that. That is what I mean by community. So how many of you have that in your life? Peers that you can interact with on a regular basis. All right. How many of you feel that that community is 110% fully accepting and engaging and enthusiastically accommodating? Way less hands. So we're gonna talk about the WH questions. That's the notes that I have. Hopefully, because there's 6 bullet points I have. Don't let me go over 5 minutes for any of these bullet points. I will not be able to pay attention to that. I will need your help keeping me going along. Please feel free to ask questions. I want this to be engaging. I don't have a PowerPoint on purpose because I want to be able to read the room and help you figure out what you need. So our first bullet point that we have is who? Who are your people? This is not a rhetorical question. Who are your people? Who is your community? Just shout it out. People like us. Yeah. All right. Disability groups. If I had to challenge you, if I had to challenge you to say a community that has nothing to do with your disability, could you do it? Yeah? Tyler, what is it? Soccer team in Madison. That's awesome. Do you watch Madison Forward? Yes. Anything else? Nothing to do with your disability. Yeah, Vlad, sports, soccer again. Apparent. Oh, floor hockey too. Basketball. So lots of sports over here. Yes, a lot of family. Yeah, family is a community. Family is absolutely a community. Yes. Special Olympics. I will say you're pushing it on the nothing to do with disability. All right. Clubs, faith groups. How many of you are part of faith groups? I have a Zen center in Green Bay that I go to meditate with like-minded people. Clubs. I'm part of a D&D club. We meet every week and we roll our little math rocks and we have a fun time. And that is absolutely accommodating for me. I have audio processing problems and disorders. So we make sure to seat me closest to the DM, whoever is running the game. And we make sure to include everyone, allow me to have that processing time, and then to be able to speak. I don't know if you've noticed, I have a lot of pauses in my speech because I cannot think and talk at the same time. I don't know if that's actually even possible. Apparently, some people can. Neurotypicals. All right, we're moving on to the next WH question. Where is your place? Where do you take up space? Is it digital or is it physical? Show of hands for digital. Digital spaces. Show of hands for physical spaces. Show of hands if you don't really have a space that you go to other than home. I used to be that. I used to stay at home. I would go to work occasionally. um, I would go to class occasionally, and I would go to my dorm room, and that was it. because I was alone in my dorm room and that was what felt safe. That was what was accommodating for me. I could control my environment, but I didn't have any people. So I started branching out. I went to the Pride Center on my campus. I went to a fencing club. I know how to fence now. It's a completely useless skill in my daily life. I don't know anyone who gets into sword fights regularly, but I do have that skill, and I met a bunch of cool people there. Being able to find those spaces, those wares, is important, and those places have to be accessible as well, enthusiastically so. It's not enough to be tolerated. It's not enough to be put in the corner and say, oh, but you're still in the room at least. You want to be part of the room. You want to be standing up. You want to be engaging. Again, why I wanted to have this be more of a discussion. So where are your places? Anyone, shout one out. Yes. You're always with friends? Yeah. Where do you hang out with friends? Like what places? So like restaurants for shared meals. That's fantastic. Yeah. Festival. I love grocery shopping with my friends. I don't know why it's so fun, but like grocery shopping on my own feels like a chore. Grocery shopping with my friends feels like a like an event. All right. Any other wares? Physical spaces, Vlad. College campus. Yeah. Where on the campus do you go normally? UW La Crosse. So does UW La Crosse have like public spaces that you can go to? Yeah, like a hall, Centennial Hall, you said? That's awesome. Oh yeah, student union. That's perfect. Oh, auditorium. Do you do theater? Yeah, cool. I was never in theater, but I was what I like to call theater kid adjacent. I was every theater kid's friend, and every single one was like, "You should go to theater," and I was like, "I don't do talking in front of crowds." Whoops. All right. What? What is your purpose? What is your passion? What are you looking to get from your community? I am passionate about advocacy. That's something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about art. I'm passionate about writing. Small changes, making someone smile, someone feel valued. That's fantastic. Smile, valued, included, even. Yeah. Something, nothing about us without us, right? Something like that. It's almost like it's the theme of the conference. All right. Passion is what we have to focus on, at least in my humble opinion. And I'm the one with the microphone. So haha. Passion is what we have to focus on. Purpose is what we have to focus on. Being able to find people who share that purpose, share that passion, lift you up, support you, be able to keep you in check, basically, to continue going after those passions. Again, when I was in college and I was in my dorm room and occasionally other places that I had to be, it wasn't a passionate project for me. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was something that I felt like I had to do. As soon as I found places that I wanted to be, not just that I felt like I had to be, not that I felt like I was shoved into, places that accepted me for who I was, places that wanted me there just as much as I wanted to be there, then I grew as a person. I was happier. I was healthier. Mental and physical health, honestly. Fencing is a workout. All right. When is it missing? When can you tell that a place is missing those accommodations, missing that community? When they're not open to accepting everyone. Yeah, I like that. That's a solid wrapped up answer. When they're not open to accepting everyone. It's not enough to be tolerated. I think I said that already. It's not enough to show up and be in the room but not talking to anyone. It's not about being there, it's about being part of being there. Why do you deserve to take up space? You're human. Good job, Tyler. That is exactly what I have written down. You're human. We're social creatures. We evolved to pack bond. We evolved to be together and rely on each other and lean on each other when we weren't feeling well or wanting something and someone else can provide it. We evolved to be that. So why are we so focused on individualism right now? Why are we so focused on, oh, I can do everything myself? Community is such an important thing, not just in the disability community, but in all communities. Intersectionality is incredibly important to me. Being able to look around a space and say, I belong here is incredibly important to me. And I want that to be important to you too. It's not about showing up and just existing in a room. Nothing about us without us. You can have a seat at the table, but no one's listening to you. Then what is the point? All right. How do you work your space? You need me to rephrase the question? How do you show up in your space and make people realize that you are taking up space? How do you show up to be there on purpose? Don't mince words. Okay, so don't be a jerk about it, but be clear, be open, be upfront about what you want and need. Yeah, finding people who are willing to make an effort and then also being willing to make an effort in turn. Um, I think it's incredibly important. I just keep saying those two words together. I think, but it's true. I think it's incredibly important to be able to find people, again, that value you as a person. That's why I said, if I challenge you to say a community that you're part of that has nothing to do with your disability, a lot of you couldn't raise your hands or didn't. um, Being able to find somewhere that accepts all of your identity and not just a single part. I am a queer person. I am trans. I am bi. There's a lot happening there. But that does not mean that I am less disabled. I am a disabled person. I am physically, mentally, and developmentally disabled. That doesn't make me less queer. Being able to find a space that is both accessible and accepting is surprisingly difficult. A lot of places put you in a box based on what they think you are at that time. A lot of places will assume that you are in one box, but not another. I was walking around in the fair part, and so many people were like, "Oh, who do you work for? Are you a care provider?" I was like, "I'm disabled. I would like to look into your services, please." Um, but it's again one of those things that a lot of people don't realize that we're constantly categorizing people. We're putting them into boxes. Except if we want to work together and have that community space, we have to break down the walls of those boxes and realize that there's one box, and that's humanity. All right. The good news is I got through all my bullet points. The bad news is I got through all my bullet points. Maybe I should have had a presentation. Thank you. That's true. That's true. I asked my questions. I did my WH questions. Anyone have anything for me that they need, that they want? How do you recommend people find these spaces? Unfortunately, you have to do the legwork of looking for the spaces. I researched a ton of different game shops in my area when I got home from college so that I could find a D&D group. I didn't know anyone there. I showed up, I paid my $15 to the store owner. I walked back to the back room and said, "Hi, I would like to play D&D, please." And they let me. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I actually work for the Brown County Library System as my day job. Libraries want people to be there. With we really like when people are there because it circulates items. It shows that we are needed. It shows that we have numbers. So being able to make your own community, if you don't have a physical space, you can find one at a library. A lot of faith centers will rent out rooms. A lot of rec centers will rent out rooms. Libraries are usually free though, so look them up first. No, it is not true. I have fines. Interesting. Is it digital media? Interesting. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. No, most places still have overdue fines because we have to make money somehow. Anything else? Probably not about library systems, since that is while a passion of mine, not why I'm here. Molly. So the question for those who didn't hear it, how did I go from depressed and in my dorm room and no, that's what it was. It was depression. Depressed in my dorm room, not wanting to do anything, having my safe solo space to putting myself out there and wanting to exist with people. It was a slow process. It started with one or two people that I would invite into my space, one or two people that would come to my dorm and we would hang out there. And then slowly we went as a group of our two or three people to places that we already knew or places that we didn't have to interact with anyone new. And then we would slowly start interacting with people who were also regulars at those places. And then moving forward and forward and forward. And after years, now I can show up and make friends pretty much anywhere. I'm a very sociable person. Um, I enjoy talking with people. I enjoy talking at people. Um, I more prefer talking with people. That's why I wanted this to be more of a discussion based. But it's frustrating when you're such a sociable person and your body and brain are telling you to shut it down. Anything else? Yes. Okay, so what do I mean by being a sociable person, but my body and brain are telling me to shut it down? So I am a little clinical history of mine. I am autistic, I have bipolar, I have OCD, and I have hypermobility spectrum disorder. Uh, that last one is a physical disability, which makes it difficult for me to move and support my own weight because my joints are very loose. And then my developmental and mental health disabilities make it very difficult for me to move out of my comfort zone. That's the autism and the OCD. And then the bipolar makes it difficult for me to stick to places and changes, and it disrupts that routine, or it makes it nearly impossible to make a routine because I can't focus on it. So being able to go somewhere and do something takes me out of my comfort zone. And if I don't do it often enough, then I will go right back into my comfort zone because I can't make that new routine. So my body and brain, plus it's just exhausting to stand up. I'm having a good day today though. So no worries. My cane is in my car if I need it. Um, so yes, that is what I mean by frustrating being a sociable person, but having your body and brain work against you, because that's what disability is. It's your body and brain working against you. Yes, there are wonderful things that come out of disability, but it's called disability for a reason. Dis meaning apart from, and able meaning to do. I am apart from doing things. Sorry, I also have an English degree, so you're going to get root words dropped on you. Yes. Yeah, learning a language. A lot of places will have classes for that. You can go to your local community college or maybe even the local high school and say, "Hey, I would like to learn a language. Do you have any classes that I can take?" They're usually fairly cheap if you're just taking one class. Find something you're passionate about. Maybe you're passionate about French. I don't know. I wouldn't be. Yes. Absolutely. Sign language is definitely one that I have tried learning over and over again. I know very basic sign, and I know none of the grammar. Um, exactly. Opening your world to communicate with more people, which in turn broadens your community. All right. Anything else? Community building, community finding. Yes. Communication. What about it? Speak up. Is that your suggestion for finding community is to communicate with people? Absolutely. Um, I could have gone to that D&D group and said, "All right, this is my D&D group. I'm going to meet them Thursdays for 3 hours at a time, and then I'm never going to communicate with them outside of that ever again." That's fine if you want to do that, but I also found one of my best friends through there, and we see each other almost daily. I never would have met her if I hadn't gone to that D&D group, if I hadn't asked her to communicate outside of that. Actually, I'm going to be honest. I said, I don't have a lot of friends in this area. And she says, well, now you have one more. And I went, what? So she kind of friend napped me. All right. Anything else? Community, taking up space, radical visibility. How many of you have heard of radical visibility? Ooh, this is one of my favorite concepts, and now you're going to learn about it. So, radical visibility is a term. I don't know if it was coined by or if it was made popular by Sky Kubacub, Cubacub. Sky Kubacub. They are a queer fashion designer who designs neon, like bold patterns, uh, absolutely wild silhouettes. And their goal is to make adaptive clothing that doesn't look medical, that doesn't look beige and sad. They do mostly commissions and custom work. So you can reach out to them, you'll give them your measurements and what style you want, what patterns, what colors, and they will make you something. I have no idea the price range on that, but it is definitely accessible because they are disabled themselves and they know the struggle that we face. They are usually sensory friendly. They are usually adaptive for any sort of movement restrictions. Um, but radical visibility being that feeling of instead of walking into a room and feeling like you are blending in or that you are up against a wall, that you are the center of that room, that you can take command of your space, that you can decide, hey, I want to be here, and you're going to recognize that I am here. Radical visibility. I've got 4 minutes left, people. Yes. So community groups, if I had to give advice to the community group itself, um, for being more accessible and more inviting, is to say that on promotional materials. Say, hey, we have sensory friendly hours. We have um accessible, like wide enough doors and low enough light switches. We have ASL interpreters. Um, I was like, what is an accommodation? Um, but yes, the being able to say what accommodations you have and then reaching out to the community as a whole and asking, what are you looking for? Is that something we can provide? The answer is usually yes. It's just something that you don't think about providing. A lot of people think in black and white, in you are either accessible or you are not. That is not true. You are accessible to some people. Everywhere is accessible to some people. Mount Everest is accessible to the people who want to climb it. I'm not one of those people, but it is technically accessible. People access it all the time. That does not mean that it is accessible to everyone. And no place is going to be accessible to everyone. But you can find out who wants to be there, and you can say, I want to be here. And from there, you can find what accessible means for that space for you. Does that make sense? You kind of have to tailor fit it to everything. But if you do have blanket accommodations, put that in your promotional material. Absolutely. 2 minutes, people. I mean, I could do a little dance. I absolutely understand that. So an issue of transportation, that is not my wheelhouse. I am not, no, you're okay. I just am saying like I am not someone who goes to um that's actually fully a lie. I have gone to legislature and said, hey, this needs to change. I am not someone who does that often though, and I am not someone who has a lot of strings that are able to be pulled. Um, Plus, that is a large systematic change. Carpool. It also is a great example. Carpooling is a great example of expanding your community and relying on each other and taking up space. You do not have to say, "Oh no, it's okay. If I can't get there, then it's fine. I'll just curl up in my little ball and you don't have to look at me." No, take up space. Ask for a ride. I've done that before. I've said, "Hey, I just had surgery. I can't drive right now, but I'm not missing D&D. Can someone drive me there and back?" And every single person in that group went, "Yeah, where's your address?" And I went, "I don't need all of you." That seems like a train. But it's something where being able to be an active part of your community benefits not just you, but the people around you. It benefits everyone to be an active piece of the puzzle. I have a puzzle piece tattoo with Rainbow Infinity in it. The Rainbow Infinity for me is neurodivergence in general, and the puzzle piece is for autism. I know a lot of autistic people don't like the puzzle piece because of what it has represented in the past. But for me personally, it means that I am a piece of the puzzle that is the world, and you can't force me to fit into a spot that I don't fit. I will go where I need to go. I will go where I want to go, and I will thrive there. And it's going to be your problems. You have your hand up? You've never heard of what? The- Oh, the puzzle piece being for autism? A lot of people are moving away from the puzzle piece as a symbol for autism, so it doesn't surprise me. How old are you? 18? Yeah, yep. Puzzle pieces were huge when I was first diagnosed, and I was first diagnosed in 2007. What year were you born? Okay. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Um, I just am realizing how long I've been doing this. I had a conversation with someone earlier, where they said, "Oh, when was your first time public speaking?" And I said, "Oh, I was 15. That was about, oh, um, but yeah, what we made it to the end, guys. If you have any questions or comments for me personally, I'll be hanging out in here. Otherwise, you can find me wandering about. I love talking with people. I love having personal conversations. If you don't have anything you want to share with the whole group, please come find me. Um, I love you all. Please go and take up space.